What's up, everybody? Welcome again to another episode of the Big Bro Podcast, man. I'm your host, Jay Floyd, aka Big Bro. Thanks for joining me again in the family room, man. What's happening, y'all? First and foremost, man, if you could do me a favor, if you're watching this, if you could hit down below, click like and subscribe on this channel. Keep up with what I got going on, man. If you could also visit my sponsors, man, I got them all listed below in the description. I'm not really going to run down a commercial. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. It's been a minute since I've been sitting in the family room talking to y'all. So I'm not really going to go through a huge description this time. But if you are interested in any of my sponsors or the companies that sponsor me, look down below in the description, man. I got a little blurb about who they are, why they good, and a link where you can go check them. So what's good, man? Let's get into this. First and foremost, I know I've been away for a minute, man. It's been a second. My birthday just passed, man. January 30th was your boy's birthday. So, I really like to take the time to, right after my birthday is it's like a month to 45 days that I like to just really sit back, really contemplate, review, do what I call a year-end review, right? In my mind, I just hit level 45. So big up to that, man, because as 45-year-old black man, y'all know what that make me, right? Make me a damn superhero. That's what that make me. So big up to that. Big up to everybody in my age range, man. If y'all level 45 and up, holla at your boy, man. If you under 45, man, you gonna get there by the grace of God. So that's what's up, man. But one of the things I like to do, man, at my age, there's certain priorities that I like. There's God, there's my wife, my marriage, there's my kids, there's my family in there, my job, and then my outside pursuits of my purpose, right? And you gotta tie them all together, but you gotta start in the right order, right? You got to make sure you're hitting them in the right order. You're prioritizing them. So one of the things I like to do after I get my little celebration in, I enjoy the little ice cream cake. I'm saying? I probably put on about 5, you know what I'm saying? I'll take them back off, man. I got to get in the gym, hit it up. But, you celebrate a little bit. You look back on the years, how God has been good to you, man. Show gratitude. You reflect, and one of the things I like to do for me, like I said, there's God, there's my wife, there's my kids. Once you start throwing kids in there, you have certain things and patterns, right? Like when the year starts, when the school year starts, right? There's when summer vacation kicks in, when winter vacation kicks in. So for me, the way I like to look at the year, I don't really like to look at the year from January 1st to December 31st. I really like to start at the beginning of September, right? So like when the school year starts, I like to go from the beginning of September to the end of August as a year, because that way you put the work up front, you prioritize the work, right? You got schedules changing. I have 3 kids in different school levels. You got different priorities, different things you got to pattern. It's going to affect me and my wife's lifestyle and how we get down, what we have planned. So I like to look at that beginning of September. That to me is like the start of the year, right? We got our new plan. We know where everybody's going to school. Everything's paid for. We know we got this rocking. We know the schedule we got to do in the mornings. You know what I mean? So I like to look at that. Boom, you put in that work. You get a little break for the holidays. Get a little break. Easter is spring. But then you get summer vacation. So you work. And you putting in all of that work so that when summer comes, then the weather warms up. You get a nice little reprieve. You get to look back, see how the kids did, see how your plans, and check on your marriage. You get to go enjoy some nice weather, take you a little vacation or, a little staycation or a vacation. You know what I mean? You get to do all of that stuff in the summertime. Get you a little time for yourself. Recharge your batteries, because that's important. You know what I mean? And then start putting in that planning for that next September 1st, right? So for me, the check-in period, right? Right up to my birthday here. So the month of February for me is like that middle. It's like the holidays are over. Now you're getting into how you gonna reposition yourself for the second half of the year. It's like halftime speech, right? So, my birthday here, man, and celebrate, check in with God, man. Make sure I got my how am I prioritizing my personal relationship with my Lord and Savior? You know what I'm saying? We all have our own relationship with our Lord and Savior, and that's got to come first. It's key that comes first. If you don't have that right, you're going to be off in other areas, man. Even in your marriage, you can't put your marriage before God. You gotta have your relationship right first. Can't put your kids before God. There's a lot of people that get caught up in that. You can't do that stuff, right? So for me, as I'm checking in my halftime speech, I'm going back in, letting the coach holler at me, and I do have coaches. I'm getting, figuring out how I did for the beginning of this year. I'm checking in with what I got going on, challenging myself for the second half of the year. I took on some challenges at the beginning of this year, the way that I look at it, right? New goals for me and my wife, financially, in our marriage, new goals for the way that we approach raising our kids, new goals for the kids, right? Our approach, one of the things I wanted to do was mature my relationship with all of my kids. I have one kid who's 15, one kid who's 7, and one kid who's 4. It's like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm constantly checking in to make sure that my relationship with all of them is mature as possible. It's cool to be daddy, and to be loved, but you want it to be as mature as possible for each level that your kid reaches. You don't want it to get stuck in past years. You don't want your daughter or son to hit 16 and 17 and you still on the daddy of when they was 5 and 6. So that's one of the things that I challenge myself on. So also I took on a new job, man. Branching out, overcoming things like imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? Accepting the blessings that God has given you, stepping into bigger roles and smarter roles, right? Because one of the things about, as you start getting into a career-oriented job, where you keep moving forward in your career, you may get that urge to feel like you got to stay as busy as possible, drive yourself up a wall, wreck your whole family life, work balance. But you don't have to do that. The best way to be successful is to get away from that. And so one of the best ways to be successful is to seek out companies or play opportunities that have that in mind, that will help you with that. That affords you that opportunity to stay balanced and get even better. Not let me move up the ladder and then let me just throw my wife and my kids and God and all this other thing that I worked on beforehand. Let me throw all that to the wolves because I got to go make this bag. You don't want to do that, So I come into this halftime and I'm like, checking in on the plans. I've been working real hard on an album, right? Your boy still got bars. I shouldn't even put the still in there, because once you got bars, you just got bars, man. If you can spit, you can spit, right? Regardless of your age, your era, it's all about being an artist. And if you come to the table and you want to make art, you sit down and you put your all into making whatever art it is you think needs to be made at that time. So for me, what I wanted to do was bring this big bro persona fully to life on wax, right? To let the music also speak what I'm saying right here on this podcast, right? So the album is, man, it's done in the recording. We're in the mixing phase and planning it out, figuring out what the order of the songs is gonna be. One of the big things, the whole purpose of me making this album is to really show that one of the things I saw, I was looking, and they had this thing on Twitter. Somebody was like, hey, I could turn any picture into an album cover. And so they was taking these pictures, and when they turned it into an album cover, they would make it nice and, glossy and black and white and capture it, right? But then they would always put that parental advisory sticker on it. And it just dawned on me, man, like, man, for one, that's how powerful hip hop is. That's what we did to the culture of the world. We made it so that just an album cover, what people think an album cover looks like, has a sticker on it that says parental advisory. It don't have to have that on there, but that's what we've done. But you know what? We could also do the opposite. We could also make a dope classic album that don't got one of them on there. It don't gotta sound like no Fresh Prince, no disrespect to Will Smith, but it don't gotta sound like I'm gonna take it all the way to the left to appease a certain middle America audience. Nah, you can still sound like what you need to sound like to reach the people that you reach. Still sound like you. You don't have to code switch to put out an album that don't got parental advisory sticker on it. So that's what I set out to do. It ain't just to try to prove that I could just rap without cussing. Nah, I set out to prove that you can pass on some healing. The same way that we proved we could show the world in 1987 and 88 when hip hop changed the world, we proved that we could show the world what our pain was like. That we could raise our voice and explain to the world the pain we was going through in the black and brown neighborhoods. The same way we did that, I'm proving now, 2021, that you can also show people how you heal through that pain. What's the next chapter? What's the next evolution? Right? What's the next? How do you solve that? How do you keep rocking? You know what I mean? So the album, be on the lookout for that, man. You'll be hearing more about it, man. But I really wanted to do my check-in. You know, my birthday just happens to fall right at the beginning of what I consider the halftime of the year, the check-in time, you know. So start to think about what's some of the things that I put down that I learned from my mentors, some of the things that people poured into me that I put into effect that helped me this year. So I'm gonna run down the list, man. Number one, I still put in time volunteering at my church. I do whatever I can. Anytime they ask something, I say yes, because God has been so good to me. He brought me through so much. I mean, there was a time in my life where I felt like I had nothing. No family, no hope, no future. You know what I'm saying? So for me to be where I'm at and to have so much fruit around me, to see things come into fruition around me and to see all these blessings and how God showed up in my life, that I will constantly pay it back. So yeah, it's important that you give your time back. Not just your time, but your gift. You know what I'm saying? I use my voice, I use my words. Just like I will put it on this podcast, or just like I'll put it on wax in an album, I'll also go use it on stage for my church, or go use it in a group to speak to some folks. You know what I'm saying? And that dovetails to my next point. Life group, man. I joined a new life group this year, man. My life group has it's a group of men, man. It's like 20 of us. It's got like a mix of older gentlemen in their 50s and 60s. It's got some younger dudes in their 20s and 30s. I'm probably right smack dab in the middle of that bad boy. But it's important, especially for men, that you grow in community. You know what I'm saying? It's important that you talk about what you're struggling with. It's important that you talk about what you've gotten past. It's important that you're helping other people get through things, man. It's important that you're letting people pour into you when you're going through something. And even if you're not going through nothing, y'all all just strengthen each other up, man. Men will operate better in fellowship with each other, in a brotherhood, man. It's just the way it works better. So I advise you get your life group, man. Another thing that I like to do, man, that's really helped me, you can use any of these that you want, man. One of the things that really helped me is the inbox threads, man. You know what I'm saying? I hate when people always be like, man, I don't be on Facebook like that. Man, I don't be on social media like that. Look, the fact of the matter is that we do. All of us, we do be on social media like that. So the thing is, if you're going to be on there, if you're going to scroll and you're going to see the thirst traps and you're going to see people saying, I got the get rich quick scheme, hop in my susu. You're going to see all the people saying, hey, look at this fight. Hey, look, listen to this. Why not also pump yourself up? Why not also build yourself up? Give yourself a lifeline, right? So one of the things I do, man, I have these inbox threads with some groups of dudes that I know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we real like-minded dudes, or a lot of my fam. You know what I'm saying? Some of my Zeus crew, we still got we have a group Me and my man Speed and E-Dot, we got a group together. Got a couple other groups. I just joined a group for some investments. Get in these groups, man. Be able to share some knowledge. Sometimes me and my boys would just be like, hey, what you know about this? All right, you know what I'm saying? And to talk about something else, the big crypto boom. Hey, hit your boys up and say what you know about it. All right, you know something about it, let's chop it up. Or let me go learn something about it. And when I learn, let me come back and show y'all. That's one thing. You can use these inbox threads for that kind of thing, man. Share that knowledge, share that experience. If you're going through something, hey, I'm up for a new job, man. Hey, pray for your boy. When you praying today, send one up for your boy. Or, hey, can I link with you real quick and let's chop it up about I'm getting into this industry and I know you have some experience in it. Let me link. Let's link and chop it up. Facebook can do that. Instagram can do that. These are opportunities. You don't have to always just go to Clubhouse and listen to somebody say that they're expert at something. That's cool, but you also can build with your brothers. You know what I mean? Next, man, I took care of a lot of things this last year, man. That was important, man. In one of these inbox threads with my fams, hollering at them like, what's some of the things we need to be looking at this age? My man was like, life insurance, man. Get your life insurance squared away. Make sure you have X amount of dollars, man. You don't want your wife out here feeling like they gotta do X, Y, and Z, to take care of your financials if something happened to you. You don't want your wife to be like down, to have to take her lifestyle down a step because, and your kids have to be missing out on things because something happened to you and you didn't have your affairs in order. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you take care of that and take care of it to a sufficient level where you setting your wife and your kids up so that they doing good. God forbid anything happened to you. So that's one of the things. I took that, I took that advice. My man's poured it into me and I took that advice. Shout out to my man Toby Braswell, who was a brother of mine, man, who was like, make sure you handle it this way. Check out this type, check out this level, do that, man. And I went and I got that done, man. Gratefully, I got it done right before COVID, kind of the pandemic hit. So it wasn't too big of an issue for me to go get it done. You know what I'm saying? And to handle the physicals and all of that stuff, it was still right on that precipice before the world shut down, So, talking about financials, man, we're going to get into one more aspect, man, and investing in something, man. Make sure you let your money grow. It's cool to put your money in a bank account, but most of these banks are not giving us back a whole lot of money, so your money is not really earning nothing. Now, I don't profess to be an expert on any of the financial area of things, but I am an expert at building my life so that people can pour into me and I can pour back into other people. So I've had a lot of people who are experts be able to let me know what's going on. So I began getting my financial portfolio right, learning about stocks, learning about crypto, learning the difference, not just from the hot standpoint that's going on right now where it's like, okay, we can hit the lottery. That's cool. But if you're going to get into any game, start to learn the whole game. So, put yourself in school, man. Life is a school, and there's plenty of teachers around here. If you're willing to be humble enough and learn how to nurture relationships enough, you can always have a teacher for something. All right? So, I went, I hollered at my folks. I even hopped into a group, a Facebook group, man, that talks about investments on an ongoing basis. So it's a learning process, man. So getting into that, man, learning the difference between stocks, real stocks, and crypto, or I should say legacy type stocks and crypto. Not that crypto is not real, but you know what I'm saying. There's a difference in approach because there's a difference in the nature of the collateral, right? So man, do that, man. Just try to, as you get older. I just hit level 45, man. When you start to hit levels like 45, try to start sewing up things to make sure that your life can be a little more prosperous, more purposeful. Get you a mentee, man. Get you a mentee. If you at a level like me, I remember my man Chuck D said, at the age I am now, if I can't teach, I shouldn't even open my mouth to speak. That's true, man. If I could reach age 45 and not have them mentee, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? I got like 4 or 5 of them at the least, and these are really, really close, intimate relationships where I could really talk to these folks and pour into them, and I grow. That's the key to being a mentor, man, is that you really get challenged and you grow from your relationship, because a lot of us never really learn how to build and nurture real loving relationships with people, really that was giving, not just taking, and especially between two people of the same gender, right? It's not just a men thing. Women struggle with this too, because a lot of us just were not taught that we can have relationships with people from a generation behind us, or and younger than us, and really pour into them and nurture them and keep in touch with them and learn how to do those things. Even if we don't know, learn how to do them, So with that, man, I want to touch on one more thing, man. This is one of my little homework assignments, man, to any folks out there who this might apply to. I see, right now I'm living in the Midwest. Y'all know I'm in Cleveland, man. You look outside, it's like 20 feet of snow. Y'all know how we get down. But this is not just happening here, it's happening all over the country. You know what I mean? Even down in Texas, they're struggling with this in the infrastructure right now. So one of the things I would advise people, man, get that snow business going, man. Get that shovel business going. Listen, I know a lot of people are like, hey, these modern day kids are lazy. Back in my day, we would have had the shovel popping. We would have already been and made $200, $400, $600 already this week. That might be true. I know when I was younger, I absolutely would just go grab that shovel and walk up and down a few streets and make me some money real quick, get a quick little bag. But obviously, if the kids are not doing it, number one, you got to understand why. Why would they? Why would they? When have they ever been normalized to doing something like that? How many of us, I'm just going to speak for myself, I used to walk to school in the snow. I ain't talking about no uphill both ways exaggeration stuff. I'm just talking about the fact that we ain't had no car. You know what I'm saying? We walked to school. We rode a bike. That was just the reality of it. Nowadays, most of us, and I'm speaking for myself, you ain't got to take this, most of us don't even let our children walk to school. So if that's the case, it ain't really nobody's fault. It's just that we've created a different world for them to grow up in. They're growing up in a different world than we did, so we can't have the same expectations of them. But if there's still the same business opportunity out there for them, and I would submit that it's even bigger business opportunity now, well, just teach them. Teach them. If you got some able-bodied teenagers in your house right now, go and grab some shovels or go on Walmart.com and show them the different types of shovels you can get, or a quick little snow blower. You can get a snow blower $100, $200. Go in there and show them this is what's called an investment into a trade. This is what's called an investment into the tools of your trade. If you get this, you can go to these blocks and you can make 10, 20, 30 times as much as you just paid for that shovel. That can happen. You know what I'm saying? And I know you're not used to being out in the cold. That's on me. But let me go show you. Let me be a model for you. I'll get you the things you need. You got the gloves. You got the hand warmers. You know what I'm saying? I'll be your business manager if I got the time. You can have access to my network. You know what I'm saying? Help them out. Help them out. If they don't naturally have that, help them out. Because it is a huge business opportunity, man. Think about it. Everybody's in the house. I've seen a lot of people like, I'm waiting for the teenager to knock on my door, so I'll give them the money, man, because I don't want to go out there. So that's what's up, man. But I will say this, again, healing is about understanding that we come from some dysfunction, man. That's all of us. To heal yourself, you got to know the disease, right? That ain't about clowning each other. It ain't about putting each other down. I'm talking about within races, within genders, within generations. It ain't about none of that. It's about saying, I recognize that fact of reality, and here's how we get to the next step from there. That's how you really heal. How do we get to the next step from there? Right? So if you recognize this where our kids at, it ain't just about hard, these kids are lazy. It's about how do I challenge myself to become a better parent so that I can parent a child who has not been prepared for that kind of thing, but still express to them that that's a great business opportunity. That's where we need to be at, all right? So again, man, it's Jay Floyd, man. Level 45, man. I'm approaching this second half of this year with enthusiasm unknown to mankind, man. I'm taking everything that I can and pouring back into my priority list, man. God, my marriage, my kids, job, purpose. That's all of my outside pursuits, right? That's what's up, man. Keep hollering at your boy, man. Keep tuning in, man. I'm glad y'all sat down with me. I hope this wasn't a little rusty. I know it's been a minute since I sat down, man. Holla at your boy, man. Love y'all. One.